It's the year 1350. You wake up drenched in sweat, your skull pounding like a war drum. And within the hour, a man in a long dark robe is standing over your bed, about to cut open your arm. Not to hurt you, to save you. Welcome to medieval medicine, where surviving the illness was only half the danger. Surviving the cure was the other half. Let's put you in the scene properly. You're a farmer somewhere in Northern Europe. It's been 3 days since the fever started. The chills, the sweats, the ache behind your eyes that makes even candlelight feel like an assault. Your family is scared, and honestly, so are you, because word has been crawling village to village for a few years now about a sickness that empties whole towns. This isn't that, but nobody in 1350 has a way to know that for certain. All they have is what they can see, and a theory that's been running the show for over 1,000 years. That theory is called humorism. It starts with a Greek physician named Hippocrates around 400 BC, and it gets fully systematized about 600 years later by a Roman doctor named Galen around the year 170 AD. Their idea: your body runs on 4 fluids: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Stay healthy, you stay balanced. Get sick, one of those 4 has gotten too strong. And here's the thing, this wasn't some fringe idea. This was the dominant medical framework in Europe for roughly 1,500 years. So when the doctor looks at your fever, flushed skin, racing pulse, heat radiating off you, there's really only one culprit he can see. You have too much blood. Which brings us back to that man with the knife. Bloodletting was the single most common medical procedure in Europe for over 1,000 years. Performed by physicians, but just as often by barber-surgeons. Yes, the same guy who cut your hair might also cut your vein. That red and white striped pole outside old barbershops? That's not random. Red for blood, white for the bandages. The technique itself: open a vein, usually at the elbow, and let blood drain into a bowl. Or, for a gentler version, leeches. Live ones placed directly on the skin, left to feed until they dropped off on their own. I know what you're thinking. Great, my doctor's bill just went up, and so did my blood loss. Somewhere out there, a medieval leech farmer had genuinely the strangest livestock business in human history. Anyway, back to your fever. Here's what's actually going on in your body right now that nobody in 1350 could see. A fever isn't your body malfunctioning. It's your immune system making a decision. When your immune cells detect an infection, they release signaling proteins that travel to a region of your brain called the hypothalamus. Think of the hypothalamus as your body's thermostat. Normally, it's set to keep you around 37 degrees Celsius. But during infection, those signals tell it to deliberately raise that setting. Your body isn't losing control of its temperature, it's choosing to run hotter on purpose, because many bacteria and viruses replicate more slowly at higher temperatures, while your immune cells work faster. Fever is a weapon your body builds for you. So what does opening a vein actually do? Removing blood lowers blood pressure and reduces the oxygen being delivered to organs that are already working overtime. Fast forward almost 450 years to December 1799. The first president of the United States, George Washington, comes down with a severe throat infection. Over about 10 hours, his physicians drain an estimated 5 pints of his blood.
nearly 40% of what a human body holds. He died that same night. Many historians believe the bloodletting didn't just fail to help, it may have hastened his death. So here's the thing I want you to sit with. The medieval doctor standing over your bed wasn't an idiot. He was working inside a fully consistent, logical system that had explained the world well for over 1,000 years. The problem was not that he wasn't thinking carefully. The problem was that the foundation, 4 humors instead of cells and immune signaling, was wrong. And every conclusion built on a wrong foundation inherits that error.
Now, to be fair, medieval medicine wasn't wrong about everything. In 1377, the city of Ragusa instituted a mandatory 30-day isolation period for travelers during plague outbreaks, later extended to 40 days by Venice. The Venetian word for 40 days is 40 giorni. That's where we get the word quarantine. So here's your practical takeaway. A mild fever in most healthy adults is not something to panic about. It's your immune system doing exactly what it evolved to do. What does warrant real concern is a fever above roughly 40 degrees Celsius, or a fever with confusion, stiff neck, difficulty breathing. That's when you see a doctor immediately. So back to that man standing over your bed with a knife. He believed with total sincerity that he was helping you. In 800 years, if someone looks back at how we treat illness today, I wonder what they'll find that we got just as confidently wrong. Medicine isn't a finished story. It's a system that keeps correcting itself, one wrong but logical theory at a time. And that's not a depressing thought. That's the whole reason you get to survive a fever today instead of losing 40% of your blood over it. If you want to see what happens when the cure for a broken bone is even scarier than the break, that's next. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.